I'm misaligned right now. I'm in a shitty mood. So I'm not going to see anything clearly. I know I'm not going to look at this conflict and have some big perspective and see the other side. And letting go is a very natural part of the human mechanism. We're designed to let go. We let go naturally, but we also hang on. And what we do with people is we help them to intentionally use a predictable, repeatable method to choose their inner state, to go from self-protection and a stress response to an open state. And in that open state, the onboard mechanisms, the onboard systems work a lot better. And we're also open to what's beyond that. We're open to the intuitive mind that can connect into the unified field. We tend to think we know how we feel. I'm just going to repeat that. We tend to think we know how we feel. We often work with people and they come in and they say, I'm so angry at my sister because we had this falling out a couple of years ago and now all this other stuff is happening. And I really need to be part of this family experience, part of this, say it's an illness or some other tragedy in the family, yet I have this rift with my sister and I'm so angry. And we say, okay, let's settle that down. Instead of being in the event and in the emotion of the event, slow it down, be the observer, and just ask, what am I feeling? Just in that observation, sometimes things shift dramatically. And the person will go, I feel grief. I thought I was angry, but I'm so sad. I feel this disconnect and I'm just sad. Staying in the anger, it's more an activity or a behavior. Anger is almost like a behavior. It's taking that underlying emotion. It's like, I want to do something about this. This feels awful. Angry feels better. I'm just going to be angry. I'm going to talk to everybody about how angry I am. I'm going to build that anger. And they stay in the anger. And it's not until they choose to observe, become present, ask, just see what's there. You're already open to more information than you were in the stress response that just keeps going. So, step one, what's there? What's there? See all of it. And this is part of a deeper teaching about it's not just about the current event that you're in or the current situation or the current crisis or conflict. It's about what all those relate to from your past. And if you're in that stress response, that's the mechanism, that's what you have access to, is the system that relies on what you did before in similar situations to inform how you're going to act now. And that's why patterns seem to create such a big hold in a person. Why do I keep getting caught in my old habits and thinking patterns, even when I know better? The thinking mind is part of the mechanism that created the belief that we need to have this kind of a response to this type of situation. It is and then we're relying on the mind to help us get out of that automatic pattern. So if the mind is already in a misaligned state and it's responding with all these stress hormones and with all these automatic responses already kind of queued up and lined up, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to do the same thing as we did before. Just trying to think our way out of it doesn't work. We've all tried it, I'm sure. It just doesn't work. So when we're in a stress response and we can see these markers that say, oh, I'm not in alignment, so I'm not This is what I tend to do, and that really helps me. I'm misaligned right now. I'm in a shitty mood. So I'm not going to see anything clearly. I know I'm not going to look at this conflict and have some big perspective and see the other side and have all this access to bigger thoughts outside of the conflict that we had, the same conflict 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to be able to access that there. Generally, what happens in my relationships with people who also do this work, it's like, I'm going to have to come back to this later. I got to go deal with myself. And dealing with myself is this. It's knowing that in that response, I'm going to just be in a self-protective state. I'm going to look after me. I'm going to try to work the situation until I'm comfortable. And sometimes that is just not a very beneficial way to go about it. So allowing the activation to drop away, to settle down in my system is necessary to get to that place where I'm going to receive anything beyond what I've thought before. So this is the presence protocol, breaking that down. When somebody asks, how come I still bring this up? We've talked about this a few times at different talks, but that is more a mechanism of predictive coding. It's what we learn to respond to a like event. And when we're in that stress response, we're going to pull up the old stuff. And if there's a lot of old stuff, it's going to take a while of stopping in an activation and interrupting that response, and then doing this work to come to a place of alignment. And then when we do that, and then we access a new solution, or we exhibit a new behavior, or we have some big insight and we end up handling that situation differently. We keep interrupting the pattern, releasing the activation, doing something different, interrupt, release, do something different, interrupt, release, do something different. We're going to weaken that neural network. We're going to weaken that part in our brain that's wired to look for past similar events. Because now all of a sudden it's going to a new place. It's going to the place of noticing that an activation is sort of coming up. And we can then make a choice. There is more space. Space opens up as we do this work more and more and more. And then we can have that different response. And we're going to, over time, weaken that neural network, and synaptic pruning takes place, where all of a sudden that automatic connection gets weak and is broken. And then it won't go there anymore. But it takes time. We're often doing this work way later into our adult years, and there's been a lot of time for these patterns to become really strongly rooted and reinforced. So we're either reinforcing the old response, or we're interrupting it and weakening that response and creating a new direction.